I have a question. Is the red pill community to blame for the rewarding of ego on the internet? And what I mean by that is, I saw a video of a guy talking about how he almost fell victim to red pill ideology and how he figured out he was falling down the cycle of it and how to get out of it some way. And in the comments, people were congratulating him, like, yo, I'm proud of you being able to pinpoint this. I'm glad you've been able to grow out of this, and things of that nature. And I don't want to take away from anything that he could have went through because some deep shit to get to that fall into that cycle. I just have a question of, are we rewarding people for being able to admit a fault that they've had? Because not for nothing, it's very human to make a mistake. It's very human to fall victim to something just because you're in a dry spot or because where you are mentally is not the best. It's very human. It's very understandable. It's understandable. But I can't shake the feeling that the red pill community is to blame for this. And more specifically, Andrew Tate. For those who don't know, Andrew Tate was a very prolific person during the early 2020s. I mean, he was prolific. Even I wasn't really on the internet, and I knew who he was. I would see him on YouTube, YouTube Shorts, TikTok. That's when I really was on it. TikTok, Twitch. He was everywhere. He was blowing up because of the lifestyle he portrayed, the things that he was saying, and naturally, because of the image that he was projecting, an image that he was portraying for everybody to see, and the messages he was spreading, more people gravitated towards it. The Discord war room that he would cast as a course, people would pay to try and learn how they can become something like him, right? And then news come out later that he is not anything that who he is. He is not at all. The person that he presented himself to be was not who he actually is. Kevin Samuels being another great example of this. Kevin Samuels being the manosphere overlord, to learn that, to see some of his earlier content, to see the image that he's projecting towards the later end of his career, RP Kevin Samuels, is not who he actually is at all. If you've actually seen the small clip of what he was before he started doing what took him over the moon, you'd realize they're two polar opposites of each other. But because of the ego that he portrayed on the internet, he was rewarded immensely because of it, especially from men. Why is the reward for ego so high? I guess that's another question I have. Why is it so high? Because I don't believe you should be awarded because you can portray a certain image on the internet. And I understand that I do that as well when it comes to understanding. I portray certain images that I'm the most understanding person. I don't know why, if anybody believes that, but I'm not. I struggle with things on my own. There's some things I'm not well read on that I need to get a further understanding. Some things I just blatantly ignore just for my own personal well being, right? That's understandable. But on that scale, when you're on that size and you're on topics like that, what is the point? Is is ego the main thing that's driving people to come and search and just want to be enthralled with this? Because I can't imagine being at the age that I am now, 18, seeing the videos that I was seeing of Kevin Samuels, Andrew Tate, and imagining, yeah, I want to subscribe to that. I guess I'm more so questioning of what led people to go down that path. Because I remember seeing Andrew Tate grow up and I was hearing the message he was saying. And I just would look at it sideways almost because what is he talking about? I never really understood the whole manosphere red pill thing. Maybe because I was so young to the point where the message wasn't entirely for me. It was for people who were older than me trying to find a way out. And I didn't really need a way out because I wasn't lost. It was like the religion for lost men, broke lost men is specific. So I guess it just never occurred to me that the message or what he was trying to get across. And it wasn't until I got older that I watched more videos trying to understand Andrew Tate and the manosphere in general, that I realized this is some of the most backward shit on the planet. You cannot preach to men, this is how you become a high value man, and then you pay me to teach you how to become a high value man. And what I'm teaching you is go in the gym. Now, let me teach you how to get some money. And every the method that I'm going to teach you how to get money requires you to have some money. And then the highlighter. Once you get this money, let me teach you how to treat these bitches. All the bitches you gonna get, let me teach you how to treat these hoes. It just never occurred to me how blasphemous this shit sounded to me. Blasphemy not in the sense of religion, but just how outwardly dumb it sounded. But again, it's ego. And we're rewarding ego. We're rewarding people who can portray a certain image on the internet and they could just be able to express themselves in the best way they can possible. I also want to blame the Fresh and Fit podcast for this. I believe they, out of everybody, Andrew Tate, his brother, everybody in the ministry, Hamza, all those people, I believe the Fresh and Fit podcast did the most damage. The platform that they had and what they would do to garner the content and garner the views would be so interesting. Because you're bringing on random women off the street to debate you on topics that you quite literally craft and polish every single day you record. And I'm not here to talk about the character of either of them because I think his name is Myron. That nigga's a coon. I have no interest in speaking on that dumbass nigga. Well, let me not call him a dumbass nigga. I have no interest in speaking on that human being. Zero interest. The other guy who was claimed to be the richest, flyest guy, he had all the bitches. He got a girl pregnant. Something happened. I can't even remember. The people who were portraying his image are losers. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna even try to say we are fun. The people who were portraying his image are all losers. And I guess some of the message that they were passing on was great. Get in the gym, learn how to become your own man, I guess, develop your own sense of security. These things. I can understand, I can I can jive with it, right? But when it got on the topic of dominance, I guess you could say, and just in general over life, women, people, it started to sound like it was a cult more than it was just trying to teach men how to become better. Because the whole point of the red pill was to teach people how to become better, to teach people how to become more of a man, to build themselves back up, right after whatever. When you're trying to build a man back up who's already hurt and financially not stable, and you show him a way out, and the way out is buy my course, and I would teach you how to become a man just like me. And I portray the lifestyle of having the women, the money, the boats, the cars, the watches. I show you the life that you could possibly be living. Doesn't that seem a bit predatory? Doesn't it seem a bit predatory that I'm showing you a lifestyle that's supposed to help you? And within the course, after you buy it, I don't do anything of the sort. But because I've already conditioned you to believe in everything that I've told you, because conditioned you to believe everything I say, because I am a man of my word and you can see it, you follow along. You just keep following along with me. And I want to highlight something. I want to highlight the audience of these people because, not for anything, I believe the audience of these people are very much victims. They're very much victims of a, I guess, system that is in place to take advantage of people who are desperate, right? We could call it what it is. These men were desperate. A lot of the men during this time period were very desperate for something to latch onto, a sense of community, because this was quarantine. So you have a bunch of like-minded people coming together in the chat room, debating on the topic or speaking on a topic that they feel so passionate about. Yeah, I can see why it grew to the size that it did, but it still doesn't click to me in my head. Why are we rewarding ego so much to the point where being able to admit something, which is very human like, to fall down a path of something that you weren't supposed to fall down and how you got back, we are congratulating you. I've experienced it too, where people will say, you're so, to be able to be this vulnerable at such a young age is commendable. And while I'll take the compliment, it baffles me a little bit on how I was just able to admit a fault I've had. I don't believe we should be calling people courageous because they're able to admit a fault they've had. Have you messed up? Yes, we all mess up though. We are all victims to messing up and not doing the best that we should do. We are all victims to it. Nobody is above or below this. So I think when we get on the internet and that's the main appeal of nobody's expressing their mistakes. So somebody who comes on in there and say, you know what, I messed up here. I messed up here. There's some things I do wrong in my own personal life. It seems as courageous, but it's very human. I'm just expressing how much of a human I am. I'm not doing anything out of the ordinary. I'm just coming on here and I'm sharing exactly what I do that's wrong. Because I'm another living human being, the same as everybody else on this planet is. Whether they admit the fault or they don't, we are both human. Also, I don't want to make it seem like I'm hating on the red pill community because I can very well understand how somebody may go down that path of being just hurt and not being mentally stable enough to control themselves in a way that they fall victim to somebody who is a leech necessarily. The red pill, the big speakers of the red pill community, the people who gain this large platform are leeches because a lot of them are young boys who don't know no better but have time, and some of them have money from their parents or whoever. And if I can access this and I can take advantage of the fact that they have all these resources, I too myself can be the person I'm speaking of. The high value man, the person with the cars, the money, the women. I just got to take advantage of my audience. And I don't want to be the play the morality police. I don't know if that makes you necessarily a all right person. Somebody's gonna be taking advantage of it. It's either you're doing it or you're not doing it. I understand. Cool, we playing the Machiavellian games, right? Fine. But it comes at a certain cost of if your whole the foundation of what you're trying to do is to help men get back to where they were, to help men get back up and build themselves back up into a man and be able to become somebody that they're proud of. If that is the goal, why is selling a course the end result? Why is trying to funnel people to a chat or to a community that they have to pay? Why is that the end result? It's time as old as time. They start making the content, whether it's through podcasting or it's through whatever it is. They just start making videos. They start posting them on Instagram. They start posting them on YouTube, start posting them wherever. They start getting attention from it. They start getting views. People starting to gravitate towards and all types of things. Now, because people are starting to agree and people starting to go in a community around them, they say, well, I could profit. I could profit off this. So they start making people charge. They start charging people, start talking to them, interacting with their own people who believe in this. And slowly but surely, you just walk somebody down into the cycle of staying here, staying in this rut, not really advancing or not really making any progress. And I say some because even if Andrew Tate is exactly what they say him out to be, I cannot take away what he's done for some people. I remember I was trying to be a copywriter and I was in a Discord trying to learn through other people. And there was a little boy in there. I'm pretty sure he was from India. I'm pretty sure he was about 14, 15. And he said he was trying to be like the Tate brothers because they had all the wealth and all the money to take his family out of the situation that he was in. I cannot necessarily blame or hold Andrew Tate to or demean him in such a way when people like that exist. When he's inspired people like that to try and change their circumstances, is he a terrible human being? Probably. But the actions that he's brought about because of his message, I can't blame entirely. Has he brought about a lot of destructiveness? Yes. He's brought about a lot of negative ideology that I don't believe anybody actually believes in. I haven't met an Andrew Tate fan in my entire life. They've been all over the internet. I don't believe any of them really existed. All right. But when you have people like that who are motivated, I can't necessarily blame him. I can't necessarily feel that what he's done is so bad, even though you look at his charges of who he is as a person, you might look at them a little different. Oh, that's what you was doing. But moral of everything, it's very intriguing to see the extent we've gone to reward ego, especially in a society where image is everything. Image is everything around us. The internet is becoming more and more and more powerful in all of our lives, whether we like to admit it or not. You can turn the internet off. That don't mean the internet don't have you. That don't mean the moment you log off this shit, it still doesn't have your presence. It doesn't have everything about you on it. So with the internet becoming stronger and stronger, I understand people wanted to present a certain image and people wanted to make themselves out to being this person. I just want to know, why do we reward it? Why do we feel the need to reward people who are able to display a lifestyle that they don't own? I guess it's because people see it as, to answer my own question, I guess people see it as desperation. People see it out of desperation. I guess people see it out of desperation. I guess people see it as a way out of whatever situation they're in. And I can't necessarily fault them, because when you're in that situation and you don't really have two pennies to rub together and all you got is your cold feet, I can't necessarily say you're wrong. Well, I can say you're wrong, but I can understand why you're in that position. If that makes sense. But yeah, I'll see y'all next week. Peace.